This is Hugh Greenwood from the North Melbourne Footy Club, and you're listening to another episode of the Hashtag Kangaroos podcast.
Whatever I've been through, the moment I see you, things start looking over.
Welcome to another episode. My name is Dean Vass. You can find me on X at Hashtag Kangas, Instagram Hashtag Kangaroos podcast. Also live on YouTube. So I'm live right now. So feel free to jump in and ask some questions. I did put the tweet out on X for people to come in. I am by myself tonight. I have put a few messages out. I've only decided this in the last couple of hours. I wasn't too sure if I was going to be free tonight, but I put the messages out, and unfortunately, I've had no luck. Hang on, I've got a message here, but no, Frank can't make it either. So I've put the messages out, and unfortunately, probably just a bit too much of a short notice. If that makes any sense. And couldn't get anyone to jump in, unfortunately. So it's just going to be me and my opinion tonight. Now, I am here to talk about the trade that did happen. Unfortunately, I got the messages last night, very, very late, that, a few people chimed in, sort of said, you finished the podcast far too early. You missed the biggest part, the biggest trade. I assumed everything was done. At the end of the day, it's all about the lessons you learn. It's all about growth and getting better. So this time next year when I do the draft, well, we're not going to have first-round picks, so I probably won't do day one next year. But if it happens again, I will stay all the way through to the end of the first round. It's a good lesson learned. So I didn't expect that deal to go through. I know we're talking a lot during the night, me, Jesse, and Siobhan. If you missed that show, it is still on YouTube, so you can check that out. And we talked about possible trade scenarios, and we never even mentioned that, I think we might have mentioned towards the end, maybe 23, 24, 27 for pick one or so, or for our future first, I should say. Never did I think that it was going to be pick 27 for a future first and, Richmond's future second, which they're heavy favourites to win with the Spoon next year. But I think we're the second favourites to win the Spoon next year. And if all goes according to plan, that's a big risk to take, which I'll talk a lot more. I'll talk in a lot more detail in a moment. And I did put a tweet out last night. It was probably a bit of an emotional tweet when I did see the trade come through, that this was absolute foolery. I was actually getting ready for bed. It was about 10 to 10 last night, and I was packing all the equipment up. Turn off the podcast, and then Siobhan Rowe calls me, and I was thinking, something's not right here. So, she called me. We just did a trade. And I go, okay. And I'm thinking, for pick 20, and she said pick 27. I thought, okay, well that's fine. Must be a future second or something like that. She goes, we just traded our future first, and we're both in a little bit of shock. Probably didn't understand it at the time. I'll probably still find it a little bit hard to understand, but over time, when the emotion wears off, you don't dwell on it too much. And me being stressed about it or dwelling on it, it's not going to change anything at the end of the day. So, pick 27, which we took Matt Whitlock, key position prospect. And he looks okay in the highlights. I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. A lot of people have, talked him up. But the club came out today. He goes, we had him in our top 10, which I find hard to believe. Only reason is because you've got 17 other teams that don't rate him in the top 10, and we're the only team that's rated him in the top 10. I find that hard to believe. Cal Toomey, I think, had him projected to go pick 23, so that's probably the ceiling of where he was going to go, pick 23. Apparently his brother's more highly rated, who went a bit later. I think he was pick 30-odd to Port Adelaide Power. So, apparently he was more highly rated. So, I'm not too sure. All right, let's get to the elephant in the room, and that's a first-round draft pick next year. So in 12 months' time, I think this pick will be worth a lot more than what it is now. I think sometimes you can get lost in the here and now and just all of a sudden talk yourself into a prospect that isn't there. In 12 months' time, everyone falls in love with draft prospects. And let's say we finish third last. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Melbourne won 10 games and finished fifth last. So, even if we won 8 games, 9 games next year, which is a significant improvement, that's a big improvement from, 3 wins this year, 3 wins the year before. That's probably fourth last. Let's say it's fourth last. So, it might be an academy player, so it's a pick 5. Richmond, it's pick 19, but there's going to be 3 or 4 academy prospects, so that goes out to pick 25. That's a big risk to me. It's something I wouldn't have even considered. I know a lot of people are talking about, and I understand people's point of view. They're sick of going to the draft. You can only go to the draft so much, and I agree. But that pick is worth a lot more than what they gave up for it. It's the process of the trade is where I'm going with this. I understand that Matt Whitlock could work out, and he could be the next Jeremy Cameron. Oh, look, it's highly unlikely, but he could be, the next big thing key forward. And, the pick 5 next year might not work out, or it might be pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, pick 5, whatever it is, might not work out. And then all of a sudden it looks okay. But the process of the trade is to me, is where it really got me. Like you look at the last 5 years, pick 27s, I couldn't, I had them up before. Like you got Adelaide Crows player in 2023. So I'll go back. All right. So I'll go to 2019. So last 5 years, pick 27, Gold Coast, Jeremy Sharp. Couldn't tell you much about him. 2020, pick 27, Nathan O'Driscoll. Not a bad player for Fremantle. Certainly no superstar. Picked 2021, Jesse Motlop for Carlton. Yeah, look, not a bad player. Good small forward. 2022, pick 27, Cooper Vickery. Couldn't tell you much about him. Sydney Swans. And Adelaide Crows, 2023, Oscar Ryan. So I couldn't tell you much about him. So that's where it's fraught with danger. Like you go to last year, Jed Walter was pick 3. Obviously, we couldn't get him. So we got what's his name? Zane Dersma, Harry Sheasel the year before, very good pick 3. Finn Callahan in 2021. Will Phillips in 2020 and 2019. Luke Jackson. So the odds are that even picks in the 20s are not going to be as good as picks that are high up. That's where I'm finding I'm a bit lost with the whole trade. I mean, me jumping up and down, it's not going to change anything. So, unfortunately, not unfortunately, we don't know yet. I guess that's a bit of a strong word. But yeah, it is what it is at the moment. And we've done it now. We can only move forward. It's not going to change anything. The trade has been done. So we can only hope that this Matt Whitlock turns into a quality key forward. It's interesting looking at his profile. He is actually, Cal Toomey says he's a key defender that can go forward. Now, I understand he's kicked a lot of goals in the Coates League. He seems to have a good foot on him. He kicked a couple of goals from outside 50, which is a really good sign. He's a very raw kid, so I don't expect him to play next year. There's a bit of pressure on him too now because obviously with what we've done, and it's not his fault, but we're certainly hoping that he can develop into that second key forward. We've still got Jack Darling who's going to help out as a key forward, so that's really good. Hopefully he can help him develop. He seemed to help out a few West Coast players as far as key forward. I think what's his name, Waterman had a big year this year. Apparently played a part in him. So we'll only have to wait and see. And the thing with key forwards, they take a number of years, so it probably will be 3 or 4 years before we really see the best of him if he does develop and come through. So, look, it's a big risk to sum it all up, and it's got potential to be a disaster. And it's got more potential to do that of being a disaster than it does of actually, coming through. So, yeah, and another thing is, like, if you don't want to take the pick next year, I think you can use it as draft capital. I mean, why can't you? Why can't you? You can, if you want to, target a key forward, maybe Ben King. Not sort of say I'm not, he's struggling at St Kilda. We go to St Kilda here, have our first round draft pick, and work out a number of picks after that, and everyone's happy, or someone else. I'm not too sure, whether we're looking for an outside mid or whatever it is. But we'll move forward anyway. So I guess we'll move to the more positive. And the club did say today that Rib Stevens is going to get taken. Apparently, that's the only pick we're going to take. That's coming up to pick 54. So I'm not too sure what. Look, I'm just going on a draft tracker now. I'm just going on my phone. So this is great. Live YouTube podcasting as we speak. So I think it was up to pick. We're up to pick 44. Ben Camporelli, Scott Camporelli's son's just been taken. So we've got a number of. I think we've got another. It's gone out to 56, obviously. Academy, the father-son picks. So it just keeps blowing out, doesn't it? But Rib Stevens, a small forward. Look, for me, I grew up in the 90s, 2000s, when the whole Wayne Carey thing happened. So it's good to get Stevens and an Archer back into the club. And if he's anything like, Jackson Archer, he's got a good work rate, and anything like Anthony Stevens, Anthony Stevens is very raw when he first started. And I think he might have been started in a forward pocket or something like that. And he turned into, one of our best ever midfielders, because he got the best out of himself. And I'm certainly hoping we can get that with River. So, we'll see how we go with that. And hopefully, we can... find a diamond in the rough and finally get a father-son that, we've got a few father-sons now, Bailey Scott, Jackson Archer. So, but, you sort of see some teams that have done pretty well out of that sort of thing. So, we'll wait and see. And there's no pressure on him to get games, into him next year. I think we've got a few small forwards coming through now. Costanti, obviously getting here from the Sydney Swans with the Luke Parker deal. Geordie Payne, who I really rate. I think he'll be in the round one team. I think I've got him as a bit of a smoky in the round one team next year. I really like him. Just reminds me a little bit of Nick Watson. He's got that little bit of Nick Watson in him, and he's going to have a full pre-season. And the boys have come back, and they look in terrific shape at the moment, as you expect them to be. So they are professional footballers. So they'll go hard for the next few weeks, and they'll integrate the draft players coming through. We do have the rookie draft coming through tomorrow as well, as far as I understand. So we'll see. How we go there. But they're my views on the on the trade, I guess, that happened last night. And I do apologise to the people that I did cut short, because I honestly thought that was it for the night. So, and when Siobhan Rowe called me at 10 to 10 or quarter to 10 or something like that, I was pretty much in bed. Sorry about the cough. I'll just have a quick drink. I was pretty much getting ready for bed, because anyone that knows me knows I'm a bit of an early riser. I probably only got about 4 hours sleep last night, but that's not complaining. I've still got plenty of energy. Still plenty to talk about. Still got plenty of energy to talk for tonight. This is a lot harder doing it by yourself rather than having guests on. But unfortunately, I couldn't get anyone on tonight. I did put the messages out only in the last couple of hours, and a lot of people did say that, some sort of said, no, I've got plans and so forth, which is understandable. I've got no life. They do. So, and feel free to comment on the video tonight, sort of saying, Dean, you're a dickhead, and don't know what you're talking about. This is a smart move by the club. Brady Rawlings is the GOAT of recruiting and so forth. So feel free to chime in. Believe me, I don't get offended by people telling me off or telling me, at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. My opinion is not, more often than not, it's probably wrong. You just have to ask my wife that I'm wrong more times than I'm right. So I'm certainly hoping I'm 100% wrong here. So, I don't come on here to sort of brag about, the club's club's stupid, I'm right, they should be listening to me or anything like that. So, yeah. But moving forward, exciting news. We've got a game on Saturday afternoon. The all-important prelim final. And we have a very tough prelim final going probably in as underdogs against the All-Australian Hawks. I can't see us knocking them off, to be honest with you. Hang on. What's this? Oh, we actually don't play the Hawks. We play Port Adelaide. Well, that can't be right. Surely the All-Australian Hawks, who had 20 players in the All-Australian team, according to the mainstream media, are in the prelim. Unless something's happened. They must have got cheated or something like that. Anyways, in all seriousness, no, we've got Port Adelaide. Full credit to Port too. That was a great win last week. I think they came from 3 goals down last quarter and ran over the top of the All-Australian Hawks and managed to get the win. So that's a fair effort. And I certainly didn't expect them to get really close last week. That I think there's a big difference between the top 3 teams and the rest. But it probably goes to show that Hawthorn had a pretty easy fixture, even though they won't say that. They had a pretty easy draw throughout the course of the year, and that's probably why they finished second. So, and have gone out in straight sets, I should say. So, But look, got some good players. Power, Gemma Houghton, obviously big key forward for them. So, but last time we played them, we'll dealing with them quite comfortably in that first half until it started streaming down with rain. And at Whitten Oval on that Friday night game, I think there was only a few hundred people there, but they were shocking conditions, especially that second half. You can't really take much out of the second half. I think they only kicked 1 goal for the game. They were scoreless in the first half, but got lucky in the second half. I think they got a goal from a free kick, to be honest with you, but there wasn't much going on. There's a lot of talk we couldn't play in the rain after that game too, but you couldn't play in those conditions. They were the worst conditions, one of the worst conditions I've ever seen. I think it's at 3:10 this Saturday afternoon. I don't understand in the 35-degree heat why you wouldn't be playing at night time, like 7:10. There's nothing else going on. You're playing the grand final at night. Why not just play the women's game? But in the evening, where it's a bit cooler, it'll probably be 28 degrees. Players won't be dehydrated, but probably goes to show how much they actually care about this product, the AFL. So, it's interesting. They've played in all sorts of conditions this year, haven't they? The girls, unfortunately. So, it's 3 at 5 p.m. I'm just looking that up. Yeah, I mean, they've played in torrential rain there for a number of weeks. So they had those 3 games in 8 days where it's pretty much all raining. But the good news is, you got the skipper, the top 10, 15 player in the competition, 7-time All-Australian, Emma Carney back into the team this week. Unfortunately, Eliza Shannon misses out, but that was pretty much what was always going to happen. She had a fitness test yesterday, got through that with no real dramas. So, I mean, that's a very handy addition. The other game is going to be interesting. Brisbane versus Adelaide Crows. I think the Crows will get over them. I really rate the Crows. I think they're clearly the second best team. If anyone's going to threaten us, it'll probably be them. But Brisbane, had a good first final win against the Hawks, the Australian Hawks, I should say. So, I mean, they're at home, so it's a big advantage playing at home. I just had the fixture up. I'll have to find out. They get the Saturday night game. So, or even you could play a game at 6 o'clock or something like that and play theirs at 10 to 8 or something, or 8 o'clock. So, I don't know. So Brisbane going in as favourites, playing at Ipswich, but only slight favourites. I still like the Crows in that one. And yes, it would be nice to knock them off in the grand final next week. I don't know. Have they come up with a fixture for... they still haven't done a fixture. It's a night game, but hopefully it's next Saturday night, for God's sake. Don't put it Sunday night where people have to go to work the following day and they won't have time to celebrate their team winning the grand final. But who knows? So I expect us to get a comfortable victory against Port Adelaide anyway, whether it's in the middle of the heat or not. Hopefully all you supporters can get down there, get on board, help support the girls. I've spoken to a number of girls on the podcast before. They really appreciate it. So make sure to get down there, support the girls. Unfortunately, I can't be there this week. I am away in Torquay for the next few days after tonight. So I won't be able to be there, but I will be there for the grand final. I'm not going to miss that, that's for sure. I did think about making the drive up from Torquay, but don't think it's going to go too well with the family. So I just thought I'd do the right thing and spend some time over there and work on my tan, I guess. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have for tonight. I just thought I'd do a quick podcast, talk about my feelings and thoughts about the trade that did happen last night. Like I said, I'm not upset or I'm not angry or anything like that. I understand everyone's point of view. A lot of people are divided. I still, look, maybe it's not absolute foolery, but where I was a bit emotional last night, but I still don't like it. We're all, it's a free world. Everyone's got their own opinion about it. So, if you're happy with it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I wish I could like it. That's for sure. I think Barney Cohen likes it, so that's fine. A number of others, got in my comments and sort of said the same thing. They said, no, this is a good kid. Like we've got a project player, Project Keith Ford, who will come in after Jack Darling or whoever else passes on the torch. So, we'll have to wait and see how we go. But thank you very much to all you lovely listeners for tuning in today. I will be back probably looking at Tuesday next week because I will be away for a few days. We'll probably obviously review the Port Adelaide performance, hopefully a comfortable win, and preview the grand final coming up. So there'll be plenty of content to come next week. I did get something in the chat here, so hang on, I'll put this up on he's put in a comment. He's got to get a better X handle or whatever it is because show on stream. So he's talking about Matt Whitlock, and he says he's going to play some good games next season. I don't think he'll play next season, to be honest with you. We'll wait. We'll wait and see. Anyways, that's it from me, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, whatever you can do to help out the show. Tell your friends about it. And I will be back, like I said, next week. Good luck to the girls once again, and bye for now, and go Roos.